Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Well, we started out as the only live and local sports that you could see on during the pandemic, and here we are 5 seasons later, ready to finish one off again. Welcome to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11 for the Big Ed Ritchie 60 minutes of fear. That is Figure 8 Auto Racing and the Hornet Nationals. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Derek Todoroff. Derek, we are ready to go. One of the best nights of the year to finish us off here for Season 5.
Oh, yeah, there's something special about 60 minutes of fear. It always will have that place in my heart. You know, can't be anything without its supporting classes, though. One of those biggest supporters is our Hornets, who are up first.
50 laps for the Hornets tonight. Lineup determined by heat races held earlier in the evening for positioning straight up by the finish. Your lineup looks like this for $1,000 to win and a championship belt as well. Bobby Haupt from Snohomish, the Snow Valley Farm 08. And Zach Bristol, your season champion in the Hibbs Automotive, #1 out of Snohomish as well.
The 202 is Blaine Manning alongside the 717 Cleellum native. Sponsored by Valley Asphalt, that's Diesel Snyder.
David Dixon's the 86 out of Arlington. Butch Stevens-Zach sponsors the car. Brian McNamara next to him, the 101 out of Snohomish. Sponsored by True Line Wheel and Frame of Seattle.
Gino Solomon in the 17S out of North Bend, sponsored by Valley Asphalt, alongside Tegan Bjornson's #59 Misfit Motorsports Machine out of Arlington.
Row 5 is Christian Miller in the 77 out of Everett. Turbo Espresso sponsors him. Next to him, Preston Brandt, the 32 from Marysville, sponsored by North County Towing. We'll keep reading them off as we get a couple of seconds for you. We're green flag all ready for the Hornet Nationals.
Matt Snyder, sponsored by Handy in the Valley, in the #15 out of Snohomish. As we see 3 wide up front. Diesel Snyder venturing high already. Back further in the field, Scarlett Fisher out of Marysville drives the #19.
00, Dan Miller out of Everett, exterior wall systems. And next to him, it's the yellow 45, Trinity repping from Snohomish, Snoqualmie Casino. As you see a battle for second coming off the end.
As that continues to rage, Zachary Dixon drives the #67. He started alongside the Cornerstone Home 03 of Lucas Hausenfluck out of Lake Stevens.
They're all chasing Zach Bristol up front early in this one. We've got the 118 of Lucas Walker, the 30 of Pat Folger out of Arlington, the Olympia Pizza car.
Sponsored by her dad, Carly Gossler, drives the #5 out of Arlington. 67X of Kylie Ann Serena out of Snohomish, sponsored by James Peak Honest Transmission. Finishing off the field, the #71 of DJ Odell, making his return to racing.
And problems. Bobby Haupt, pole sitter, got around, smokes the tires, and has lost about 15 spots in the process. Tough break for him. One of the favorites coming into this, starting on the front row, and that allows Bristol to run off even further.
He's piloting this one out into the sunset. Not only this year's champion, not only last year's champion, but also officially the NASCAR Division 5 National Champion. He's headed to Charlotte to accept that award. Got to be pretty cool for the #1 team.
It's an awesome deal. Now he wants a championship belt and $1,000 here on Home Track Heroes. Our program brought to you by Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. So there's a look, picture-in-picture view. Big thanks, as it has been all year, to Brandy Hood Promotions. She has been the queen of the GoPros. She owns like 215 ridiculous GoPros at this point in time.
It's something maddening like that.
It is a carrying case and then some, as you're going to look from Gino Solomon's point of view, chasing his kid, Matt Snyder, down to the inside of him as they enter the big right hand. We call it turn 4 where we're circle tracking, but turn 4 into turn 3 and a little contact between the two of them as it happens.
Yeah, they're running the reverse boot right now. Solomon continuing to pursue that #15 machine. Pressure coming from Lucas Hausenfluck, driving his dad's old car. As Ryan, been running mini stocks this year, making the transfer over. I believe that's the same car he won the championship in back in 2022.
You know, if you just accumulate a fleet of 4-cylinder cars and say, okay, we'll use this one for this purpose this week, turns out to be okay. You'll never miss a week racing.
Hey, there you go.
Whatever it takes. Zach Bristol, whatever it's taken all year long. And I mean, arguably the most successful season of his career, at least from an accolade standpoint.
Accolade standpoint, no doubt the most successful year of his career.
Multiple-time feature winner as well, as he stood tall in victory lane more than a few times in multiple forms and functions. Watch the rest. Go ahead.
Broke his 4th of July curse, too.
Big deal. I know he had wanted that one super bad. As there's a look at Bjornson's 59, trying to chase down for position. Family Matters coming off of the final corner. White 77, Christian Miller. His dad, Dan Miller, who had a really strong finish to 2023 and translated over the offseason. See if he can make his way up in the top 3, because right now, Zach Bristol's world, everybody else just living through it, is we're 7 laps into a 50-lapper. This is the longest one continuous race of the year for the Hornets. points as they had a 60-lapper that was broken up into 3 segments earlier in the year that, well, didn't quite go 60, but that would have been the longest race of the year had it gone the whole way.
Correct. As you see them working their way around, speaking of lappers, that's what the one is doing right now. Carly Gosler in the tire barriers on the edge of your screen. We flash back to Brian McNamara and Bobby Houck. We're battling heading into the right-left.
Yeah, Houck trying to make a little comeback here. Looks like Gosler has gotten it fired back up. Get the 5 car up and rolling just at the edge of your screen almost. As Miller makes his way to the inside of the 59 of Bjornsson and will take the spot and tries to open the door up for Proud Papa in behind him, but Bjornsson gets down to hinder his ride, at least for the time being.
Block there from the Shark number 59. I know Tegan hoping to go mini stock racing next year. We saw that car at the end of this season, so hopeful to see him in a different four-cylinder class next year.
I do love the military green, and especially during daylight. Look out, repping around Bristol, barely misses Trinity, and you can see him parking on the brake pedal to miss it. So let's get another look as they come through. Trinity with them green wheels around. Here's the eyeballs from the Hausenfluck car. And yeah, took that corner, took it awfully sharp, got a love tap at the very end, but just couldn't keep the wheels pointing in the right direction. Now from Walker's point of view, which is a little closer. Back end just started stepping around on Trinity as she went to make that right-hand turn.
The mirror came off on that little love tap.
Let's take one peek from her point of view. Tried to take it sharp, and you can see the back end comes by and tink. There we go. So repping around. Green lights were flashing for a good long while there before they stop, and we go to a yellow flag action. About 10 laps into this, so still long race to go here for the Hornet Nationals on the 60 Minutes of Your program. Oh, wow.
Quad box.
Derek is outdoing himself here with the quad box shot. Coming back to green flag, and Zach Bristol is under attack for the lead, coming through the big sweeper.
Yeah, you see Bristol here and Snyder on the top left of your screen. Bristol gets the advantage. Snyder falling back in behind. We ride along with Dan Miller, who's involved in the battle for third right now on the top right. Manning to his front right and to the left front. That is his son.
Meanwhile, from the bottom, you can get every angle of Brian McNamara's ride you could ever want. Looking out from the front, looking out from the rear, and how he comes in and through the corners and where everybody's going to be after him. That's Folger trying to loop around the outside as you sneak your way into the Das Boot portion of our reverse boot racetrack. Folger trying to wedge his way forward with a little more fun. I think Scarlett Fisher trying to get involved. Fisher will move underneath trying to make the pass. As there's Christian Miller once again on his march up to the front of the field, bringing Proud Papa Dan in and with him. We have got to take a timeout. We are just scratching the surface of the Big Ed Richie. 60 Minutes of Fear here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Action continues in the PRCBD Hornet Nationals here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. The Big Ed Richie 60 Minutes of Fear, our season finale for season 5. He's Derek Todoroff. I'm Caleb Hart. Our program brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. Just take a look at your leader, Zach Bristol, driving into corner number 1. He's opened up a pretty decent advantage on Diesel Snyder, the 717. These are the PRCBD Hornets, and PRCBD, our segment sponsor. Swing by PRCBD in Arlington for all your CBD questions or needs. For people, pets, and more, go to prcbd.com and use the promo RACE.
Dan Miller got by Christian Miller while we were at the break. You see 77 continuing to battle with dear old dad. 00 takes a slightly wider line as they come onto the front stretch. Inside opportunity for the 77 going to be closed off as they enter into what I suppose is turn number 1.
You see that big old door bars that Christian has put on the 77 car? Big old, I don't know, protection bars. You used to see them a lot in the bump pass divisions as they would come in and through. You don't see them as often here in some of our other stock car classes. Dan's got one as well. His is more just painted to be in line with the rest of the car, but the big old red stripe down Christian's shows pretty big as he rolls through the corner.
I believe that might be pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. Same reason why we've got so much pink riding along Zach Bristol's car.
Bristol, yeah, you are correct, as he's got all of those bumper bars lined in pink here for October racing as he's coming up in the back of the field, continuing to enjoy a really healthy advantage. We're at the midway point of this race. boy, this just wouldn't be the cherry on top for Zach. We've talked about it, but he continues to pick him up, put him down, and put lap cars in his rearview mirror at the same time.
That feels like the epitome of the Zach Bristol experience this year. The degree of dominance, unlike every other time. You know, setting position with qualifying inverse. This time, heat races determined it, and got up front in his heat race. He could start up front, something very rare for the driver to want.
Yeah, full invert on the Hornet divisions, so you are always seeing Zach, who qualifies very, very well, start towards the back of the field and have to pick his way forward. Yeah, it's Bizarro land right now. Bristol out with a dominating lead with lots of laps left.
He's going to get by McNamara, setting up on both Reppin and Brandt.
Preston, and Preston in the 32 car rolling through the middle groove. Reppin, you saw her do that earlier where she arced it big out and wide, drove way down to try to make that corner. You can see she's made an adjustment to that and is definitely coming in to take that right-hand turn into the top of the boot a little more subtly now. That's keeping the car nice and straight, nice and fast, because she's held off Bristol for a couple of laps now.
Yeah, Bristol running this higher side in the entry of one. That middle groove between the two dotted or supposed dashed white lines. We flash back to Matt Snyder and Blaine Manning. We're trying to get by 67 of Kylie and Surrey.
You're going to have to help me out here. I don't remember ever seeing Blaine Manning run anything that wasn't figure 8 course. Might be a first time for me. I can see the gears spinning.
Manning.
Smoke coming out the ears on Derek Todoroff as he jogs the memory banks.
I remember a old black and white number 68 Hornet run by Manning.
Okay.
Won a couple of races, I believe in 2022 at the latest. He's turned most of his attention to figure 8 racing lately.
Good to see him. I mean, he's still making right-hand turns. Oh, big contact coming into the corner. Snyder leaning something hard on Surian, making his way through. It looked like the rubber bumpers on the bowling lane that I still use. As they work their way in and through. Hey, I shoot 300 every time with those bumpers. As they come in and through, it's Manning now going to try to hold off Snyder in the 15, who, just kind of leading on him through the corner.
I'm happy to say that I beat Ben at Strikers Bowling when we went just, I believe, last Saturday.
I would just like to remind you guys that's what was invented by cavemen, so whether that's a good thing or not, through the turn we go. It is Bristol who continues to lead. We haven't seen Diesel Snyder in a few minutes, which is either a good or a bad thing for Snyder. It means he hasn't done anything to hurt himself, but he's also not making any ground on Zach. He just continues to stretch it.
Here's the other Snyder. Matt Snyder continuing to battle with the 59 of Tegan Bjornsson, as Dan Miller has fallen back here. Not quite sure what happened to him. Christian has inherited third. The 00 now battling with Solomon and David Dixon.
And rather than throw way too much judgment for how Snyder took that corner in, he had a whole lot of speed. There was not a huge lane there. To check up that hard would have cost him a ton of positions, potentially even been dangerous to the race cars, because you can see the velocity that he's throwing that car in the corner with. He's got a lot of corner speed in her.
Well, and in the case with Surian, he is also the lead lap call.
Sure. That brings up an interesting debate as we got a caution out, and it is Surian who ends up on the wrong side of it. Let's take a look and see what happened. That's Kylie and Scarlett Fisher, two of our female competitors here, getting together, and Kylie gets the worst end of it. Yes, you are the lead lap car, but to my knowledge, we're not using a move over or hold your line flag in this division, so it is your job to get around the slower competition safely, hopefully without too much contact, right?
Hopefully.
Hey, got all off season to fix her up. We are in the season finale after all here at Home Track Heroes.
Hey, that's the glory of it. We are back in the quad box. Battle cam on the top left, riding along with your race leader, defending champion, and NASCAR Division 5 champion, Zach Bristol on the top right. As he tries to pull away, get the distance once again from Diesel Snyder and Christian Miller. Riding along with Christian in the bottom right, Matt Snyder running in the 4th place spot. He is who we're visiting in the bottom left.
Now, see, I'm just excited that we get to see Diesel Snyder again. We get to prove that his 2nd place run is not a myth like Mother's Day as we head into the corner number 4. And work their way through Bristol, stretching the advantage on Snyder and Miller, your top 3, and got in-car cams from all of them.
Every time we do this, I have to question so much about you.
Well, you shouldn't have given me the links to the program at the end of season 5.
That wasn't me who did that.
We're getting all of them out of my system into the long off season before we'll be back for season 6 coming up in April.
Hey, yeah, I'm excited for another season of Evergreen Speedway Racing and for Home Track Heroes.
We've got a lot to build on. There's a lot of great things that happened this year. This class in particular, the Hornets, night in and night out, something awesome tends to happen, whether it's a back-to-front drive, somebody picking up an emotional first win, late race shenanigans, whatever it is, this class always performs some kind of thrill.
Yeah, the points battle didn't do justice to how much fun we had in the Hornet class this year. As you see the 717, the 77, Christian Miller and Diesel Snyder battling it out for second. We're reminded of how dominant and how great of years those two have had.
Fantastic seasons as well. I mean, the focus has been on Bristol as he comes and gets the championship, but early this year, it was all about the Snyder show and which one of the Gino Solomon, Diesel Snyder, etc. would be running up close to the front and take the win early on in the season.
All three of them took a win at some point this year. Diesel's big one, though, came on the whole enchilada, the Raptor, the Dino Embryo, whatever you want to call it.
Road X!
The road course that
was
the
great.
Hornets tackled. Diesel took the win on that. It was a real impressive run to see a young driver like that adapt to a brand new course so well.
He had been knocking on the door. It was going to happen at some point in time. That night, of all the nights for it to happen, awesome deal for him.
Pretty rad.
And again, all three of the family, the 17S of Solomon. Solomon got that early season win in the lane where, I don't remember, he lapped a huge portion of the field and had a gigantic advantage in victory lane on that night. So that was quite the thing to see. As there goes Tegan Bjornsson, the 59 car. Rolling to the end. Well, you know, and you're going to get some elbows coming right back. And Snyder says, cool, I'll race you just like that. No big deal. Coming off the turn, we will continue. That battle will continue even more. So we look at second and third. Diesel Snyder and Christian Miller tooth and nail for the runner-up spot. Zach Bristol leads. More from the Hornet Nationals next on Home Track Heroes. We're back on Home Track Heroes towards the end of the Hornet Nationals. $1,000 and a big old belt on the line for our PRCBD Hornet main event winner. Their final race of the year on our Season 5 finale of Home Track Heroes. Derek Todoroff joins me, Caleb Hartley in the booth. We've got 3 laps to go on our show, or at least on this main event as part of our show. It's brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. And you get the in-car from Christian Miller. This segment brought to you by Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 7% less than traditional grocery stores. Shop them first and save. Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of our Superstock Figure 8 class. We'll see coming up a little bit later here on the program.
2 to go as they come on across the line. Christian Miller are right along on the right side of your screen. He's had a great season this year, including a long string of podiums here at the conclusion. But unfortunately, not enough to best the driver who you see on the left side. The driver taking the white flag. It's been a great, even better year for Zach Bristol.
You know, we haven't said a whole lot of this, but Zach running in memory of Junior Brookover. So he'd make Junior awfully proud for the 2024 that he's had. This has been an awesome year for Zach. Taking the right-hand turn down the back straightaway. He'll have 2 more corners before he takes the Hornet National Championship belt. Here we go.
Out of the final corner, coming to the front stretch, you'll see the checkered and complete the season of dreams for Zach Bristol. He is your Hornet Nationals winner. Diesel Snyder comes across in second. Christian Miller in third. As we head on down to the Angel Woods Casino Resort podium.
Christian, just first off, what does it mean to get a podium, Hornet Nationals, and with a crowd like this watching?
It's amazing. I love podiuming because of the crowd. You know, you guys make this so much fun. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you all so much for coming out.
Yeah, that 77 really started to come alive throughout this season. Some podiums starting to come at the end of the year. How are you feeling going into next year?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think I've got the car close to where I want it. I've got a few things that I got to dial in, but we're doing pretty good, so I'm going for a championship next year.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I want to thank Turbo Espresso Exterior Wall Systems, B&R Drywall, Hornets Nest Racing, my dad, Fast Eddie's Tire Pros, Ed, Jeff, and Taylor over there. Great guys. If you need tires, get over there. You know, the Hornets Nest Racing crew, you guys are the best. Brandy, of course. We can't do it without Brandy. My big fan here, and it's his first time out here, so heck yeah.
Let's give it up. Third place tonight, Christian Miller. All right, Diesel, second place to wrap up a great year for you in the 717. So what's next for you?
Stinger.
Stinger gonna take to the 8. Oh no, that's gonna be so much fun next year. Similar question for you is just, what does it mean to get a podium with a crowd like this in attendance tonight?
This means the whole world to me, and this is for my Uncle Zach tonight.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I gotta thank Valley Asphalt, Handy in the Valley, Falls Compound Pharmacy, Hair Inc., Snow Falls Credit Union, North Bend Chevrolet, bus drivers, SC, Zach and Christian for the amazing race, and Brandy Chavez for the awesome videos, and these amazing fans. Thank you all.
Let's give it up. Second place tonight, 717, Diesel Snyder. Zach, just how do you describe the year that you and that one car have had?
It's a dream come true, man. We all the races I haven't won in like the 16 years I've been doing this. Hornet Nationals, we finally checked off after all these years. Road X, got the 4th of July. Friggin', and plus the national championship was just the icing on the cake. Oh my God. What a wicked fast car, and definitely got lucky with the heat race when we started straight up and they got the fastest car on the pole. Like, all right, let's see if we can check out, and we did.
Yeah, you and that car have been so fast, bringing the first national championship to Evergreen. Just talk about, what has this year been? Have that been in your mind, and what are you looking forward to next year?
It really wasn't in my mind until all we wanted to do was go back-to-back on championships and move on. And yeah, once we found out about July, we were in the running, and we thought we were out of it, and thankfully the Road X race, whatnot, they counted as NASCAR points, and we got enough to get ahead and take the national championship. Really don't know what's going on next year. We got, oh God, we got so many cars. We got Hornets, Stinger 8s, mini stocks. I mean, you know I run everything. So also looking at maybe traveling some more. So it's kind of we'll get through the winter. We'll see how the rules and all the tracks shake out and see where we end up.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here all season long?
I want to thank my whole team, Tommy, Candy, Hibbs. They own that car. They saved me at the beginning of the year when work was very busy and I couldn't work on my car. They stepped up and took care of it. Beautiful girlfriend, Sarah. My good luck charm, Jenny. My sister, Morgan. She's my biggest fan over here. My sponsors, Gourmet Latte, Bennett Design Construction, Hibbs Automotive, Tons Peterson LLC, and I would also like to thank the Hornet class. This is such a fun class. That's why I kept coming back every single year. We're just a bunch of boys and girls having fun, living the dream out here and putting on a show in front of you guys. Thanks for all coming out, and hopefully the figure 8 races will be awesome to watch later.
Zach, we're not going to let you get away just yet, because I'm going to get Brandy up here from Brandy Hood Promotions to present you the Hornet Nationals Championship Belt. That thing is a heavy real belt. That's real. Yes, it is heavy. So Zach Bristol, you are a Hornets National Championship. Congratulations to the one car, your race winner, Zach Bristol!
Zach Bristol taking on the championship belt. We need a Home Track Heroes Championship belt for the MVP of our productions here on the year.
Who gets that?
I'll decide here in about 10 minutes. We are ready to go. It is time for 30 minutes of figure 8 auto racing for the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. Mackenzie Dietz is on the front row in the 67, sponsored by BECU. Quentin Morrison next to her out of Aberdeen, the Marys towing 5.
Number 72, Doug Wilkinson behind the wheel tonight, sponsored by Bill Chuck Heating. Then the V8 is Steve Peters, the Battle Wagon, sponsored by Papa's Bar in Monroe.
Third row's Rick Jones out of Linwood, Winter Speed Shop of Burien. Chevy Vincent, the 45 from Darrington, the homegrown hair studio car. We're green and underway. We'll get the rest of them as we can, because they're going 30 minutes. Driver who leads at the end of 30 minutes is your winner. There is no set lap count. And yellow flag laps count towards the time. If we go red, that stops the clock. So that's the keys to this one. As we will tell you, that's Guy Litz in the 88. Protocol Plumbing and Sewer out of Bothell. The 01 of Doug Delfell started next to him. Everett driver, sponsored by Mazda Everett.
Robert Weldon, 63, Big Bird out of Arlington, sponsored by All Ply Roofing LLC, started alongside 68 of Lane Manning from Marysville, sponsored by Be Happy Carpet Cleaning. You see Litz is slow, and the 66 machine of Jones pulled off. Yellow's gonna fly, clock keeps ticking.
Yes, so you can see the clock in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Will give us a chance as we look at the replays to tell you Jessica Wilkinson is the JE55 from Marysville, Pilchuck Heating and Air, as it was Vincent causing or beginning the chain reaction that ended up clipping a bunch of cars. There's the in-car from him. 76S, Chris Southard of Everett, All Solve Plumbing sponsors him.
Just looks like Chevy unable to get the car to turn going into the right-hand corner. Makes contact with Rick Jones. And not sure what dropped there on Rick, but he heads back to the pit area. We keep going through our field. Here's the view from Robert Weldon of the whole incident. This time we're going to get to see what happened to Guy Litz. As Litz is here on the track, and down comes the 66. Nowhere for him to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, right front into the left rear coming off the corner there, so damage to 3 of our drivers. First time in a number of years that the Superstock Figure 8s have had their own separate main event from the Outlaws. We took the traditional 60 minutes of here and said, all right, here's 30 for the Superstocks, here's 30 for the Outlaws, and let's let them back loose. Quentin Borison doesn't often get to start off the front row, as this was lined up straight up by time trials, but Borison shoots back out into the early lead here in the first 30 minutes.
We're back in the quad box with Mackenzie Dietz in the top right, Blaine Manning in the bottom left, Chris Southard in the bottom right.
You thought I was going to stick you with the hard road, didn't I? I got out of it. It's okay. 369's Tasha Dunn. You've seen her out there a couple of times with Sultan, the Painted Raven Farm car. And next to her, Troy Simeoner, Blue Jay Productions, number 69.
Sheridan Vincent drives the McCarthy General Contractor 17X today. He started alongside the Black Thunder Transport 52 of Keith Taylor.
So that is your entirety of the lineup. 16 cars started this Big Ed Ritchie 60 Minutes of Fear Superstock Figure 8A main event. As we watch everybody chasing Quentin Morrison. Second place, Steve Peters in the Battle Wagon's been spotty this year when Steve's been around, but good to have him as one of the all-time Figure 8 drivers trying to catch down, run down Q, who is your season champion as well.
I feel like you've seen him a couple more times than I have this year up at your facility.
It's been nice to have him try his legs on doing something else, but we know you just put him in the cockpit and he is going to find a way to make whatever he is in fast. So
okay, that's the show. 5 minutes into this one for the number 5, Quentin Morrison leads 25 to go with Peters and Dietz chasing him down.
Always amazes me on Quentin. We call him the one-armed bandit as he shoots the gap. That was tight. A driver, literally, he only has one arm, but you put him in an endurance race like this with as many intersection crossings as it is, and now he's not absolutely pooped. As there's Vincent in the Yargis 17X going around. He'll fire her back up and get going again. Now, with a timed race, losing all this ground early is not a huge deal because you got a long time to make it up.
Yeah, time races lend that luxury to the drivers, and I know a lot of them are thankful for it. It gives you that chance to regroup, feel your car out at the start, then come alive as the race goes on. A lot of people I know would not give that up for anything.
At the same time, that car is pretty drastically, as this intersection is very, very busy, that car is pretty drastically going to change over the course of this main event, as there's the 369 of Dunn hanging out, waiting for opportunity to get through, goes right over the storm drain.
The drain to do.
And Morrison will make the pass on the inside, but Dunn 369 down a lap. Car's going to be awfully different, running 30 straight minutes, and the longer you're going to have a run at speed, the hotter everything is going to get. Motor's going to get warm, tires are going to get warm, fuel load's going to burn off. This car's going to be drastically different at the tail end of this run as opposed to the beginning.
Doug Wilkinson driving the number 72. One of 4 Wilkinsons running tonight. Sister Jessica running the JE55. His son and daughter, Dakota and Haley, running the 25 and 35 in the Outlaw Figure class.
Busy night for the Wilkinson family as we're coming up on about 7 minutes in. Jeff Talbert looking to the inside of Mackenzie Dietz as Dietz scooting around the bottom of Taylor to put him further behind. Borison, your leader, up on Weldon now, and it is early for Weldon. He does not want to go a lap down this soon. Let's see how hard he fights to keep Quentin in behind him as they'll go 2 by 2 in front of Borison and into the intersection. Thankfully, no traffic coming through because being on the outside of a slower car in that regard, scary, scary, boys and girls. We are in October after all. It is 60 minutes of spooky month. That's right. Commercial break coming up. More from the Superstock Figure 8 main event next here on Home Track Heroes. Back we are at the Superstock Figure 8 main event. You're watching the Big Ed Ritchie 60 minutes of fear here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart, our Figure 8 aficionado and historian Derek Todoroff in with us. Derek, so far, so good. Has had a little changeover in your top 5, but Morrison has been in control. Steve Peters, a couple car lengths back from him at this point in time.
It's been like this most of the race so far. Doug Wilkinson, meanwhile, oh, never mind.
Hello, hood panel flying up in the air. A full look at the radiator as Guy Litz and Steve Peters, V8 versus 88. They both lose, as that one was big, boys and girls. There's another look at it. Holy cow.
When you're chasing the first place driver, there's no place to let up, and the consequences of your actions.
Wow, what a collision. We've seen some good ones.
The entire front bumper of the V8 going sliding away.
And you can see he was trying to time it up. I think Litz just wasn't going as hard as maybe Peters thought he was. Knocks the entire hood off the hood pin bar, shears a bunch of stuff, and that'll end the race for, at minimum, Peters and probably Litz too, considering the contact that was made there.
Wow.
That
Keeps
was
it
something.
exciting.
All right, restart coming. Our program brought to you by Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. As we're back to green, and that makes your top group look a little bit different, as now Morrison will have Mackenzie Dietz, and I said it was Talbot earlier. It's not. It's Doug Wilkinson in the 72 car tonight. My apologies. He is running in the third spot.
This is a very strong top 3. Mackenzie's had a great year, had an amazing start to the year. Spent the rest of it, unfortunately, chasing Quentin Morrison. Quentin, your champion. Doug Wilkinson may not have a ton of those super flashy accolades, but he has a ton of feature wins over the years that he has picked up. He is certainly a threat.
You know the Wilkinson family very well. You could go back with Doug, but you know, just over my period of time here on Home Track Heroes, I've seen him run maybe 5, 6 different divisions and run them all really, really well.
He is a wheel.
For sure. He's sitting third right now in this feature with 6 minutes, 45-ish seconds left to go. Perfect position to strike if something happens between the 5 and the 67 car out here. Never say never to anything at Evergreen Speedway. This intersection is more dangerous than anything else you'll see in the state of Washington.
And he feels like it. Doug can be a very, very patient driver back behind the wheel. Chasing down Mackenzie and Quentin, who've been the powerhouses of the class, I would argue, the past 2 years.
Well, you look at it, Quentin out of the race car last year. John Carlson drove that car during the season. And then this offseason, I mean, it was just a couple of weeks after the checkered flag flew on the Big Ed Ritchie 60 Minutes of Fear last year. And the 5 car was no longer in its owner's possession, because that car was stolen. A lot of the electronics, a lot of the stuff was yarded out of it by the people who picked that up. And unfortunately, the damage caused when it was recovered required a complete rebuild on the 5 in the offseason. Now they got it, they did it successfully, and have had a great year since then, but yeah, it was an offseason of turmoil up until that point.
Riding along with the 68 of Blaine Manning, he fights with the 17X today of Sheridan Vincent. You see at the top of his screen, just a little sight line on your top 3. Manning running in the 4th place spot at the moment.
Boy, that exchange could have gotten a lot different between Morrison and Dietz, depending on what Jess Wilkinson decided to do. Jess got out of the line, coming on the outside of the corner, and that gave Morrison a clear shot. But we will see passes for the lead often in that one, where you've got slower car coming through and the leader can't get out to a groove and take it on with your second place run right behind. So that could have gone a lot different, as there goes Sheridan inside to make the pass.
See how sideways Sheridan gets to the corner. Back end really kicking out on that 17X. Slices through the intersection nonetheless. Manning trying to cross over. Not going to work that time. We got a car spun on the outside of the intersection.
Is that the aforementioned Wilkinson?
I think it might be. We'll see if we get a better shot. No, not that time at least. Still watching your top 2. Morrison and Dietz, and Jessica Wilkinson is moving, and if that shape is gone, yes, that was Jessica Wilkinson.
Well, the field has narrowed a little bit. We do have a number of guys through collision and otherwise that have pulled off the racetrack. So where we started 16, it's a little lighter out there. That's better news for Morrison because less traffic ahead of him and less in the intersection. Always a good thing for your pace setter. Mackenzie Dietz is making it awfully difficult on him, though. Quentin Morrison is having to be precise on every one of these corners in order to hold this top spot.
It can be a brutal war of attrition in an endurance race. I recall watching one where I watched 32 cars start that one, plus 5 alternates, and in the end there were 4 on the lead lap.
Look out, 52. That's Taylor in the Chevelle? Yeah, it looks like a Chevelle.
I think that's a Dodge Dart.
You sure? It's Chevelle-esque.
I can check.
All right, you check.
I'll go looking.
Because if it was Chevelle, it would be super cool. As a Dodge Dart, he might lose a point or two. I'm just saying, look out, Blaine Manning. Wow, sideways through the intersection, they just barely missed him.
Pretty radical save there.
Yeah, he's having to save that thing still. It's like he's got a tire going down or something. By the way that car is acting. Morrison has opened it up a little bit on Dietz, who is carrying a small advantage over Wilkinson, but boy, intersection, it got hot. It got hot real quick.
The 1972 Dodge Dart with the Dodge 340.
Keith, do better. Come on, find a Chevelle. If you're gonna have that style-looking car, make it the cool car. I got nothing against the Dodge. I'm just saying.
And it sounds like you do.
That's more me being pro Chevelle.
Tell yourself whatever you want.
Listen, the lies I tell myself just to get through the day are perfect.
Yeah, that's relatable.
Morrison versus Dietz. Red versus blue as they come in through the corner and off the turn with 2 minutes and change remaining here. First again, exclusive Superstock Figure 8 main event here at the Big Ed Ritchie 60 Minutes of Fear in quite some time. Have a good battle out in this one. 2x2 in the intersection in behind them could get awfully hairy and hurry.
Yeah, that can get spicy, certainly. The 5 continuing to lead, though, feels fairly comfortable out front, or at least is driving that way. 67 of Mackenzie and the 72 of Doug Wilkinson still was in pursuit.
Yeah, say this for Quentin, because Mackenzie has snugged up on him a couple of times. Never seems like he's broken his rhythm. He has done a good job kind of making the same lap over and over again. Now, there's that situation that I talked about a little bit earlier. Taylor was the slow car in front of the two of them. Morrison had enough time, though, to get to the outside to make the loop around coming in there that it didn't cost him too badly, as we're going to look at Manning once again. He was the car who was all kinds of squirrely just a little bit earlier. He's gathering back together as Chevy Vincent dialing in behind him, trying to take a spot from him.
Yeah, not sure if it... I don't think it was a tire going down. I didn't see him pull off, so
Yeah.
maybe just the car getting out on him.
A couple of times in the same corner is kind of random, but yeah, must have just been random happenstance. He's got her back together and working as we're down to a minute 25 for Morrison over Dietz. Dietz is right there with cars 2x2 directly ahead of him, maybe half a track away at this point.
Say maybe 4 laps at the most to go. It's about when you start making your move in a Superstock Figure 8 race. So few laps remaining.
Mackenzie is running very clean yet. You haven't seen that little front bumper tap that's very apropos of how the Figure 8 drivers run. Wilkinson is there in case anything happens. So you'll see Mackenzie swing a little bit wider than Quentin coming into the corner and make up even more gap on him, but they're no longer 2x2 in front of Morrison here.
And Morrison with a much better exit out of that corner. So Mackenzie here on the back bumper, maybe giving a little bit of a tap with about 35 seconds remaining. Gonna stop Chevy Vincent sitting at the edge of the intersection.
He's been there for a minute and looks like they're content to leave him there. Typically you'd see this yellow flag come out a lot sooner if they were gonna throw it, but Vincent's gonna sit there as we watch Morrison and Dietz come off the turn, and there's the white flag. We'll have one more to go here.
One more trip around this Figure 8 track. The 5 of Morrison holding his line. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps. Equal in his own number as they roll through the intersection. One final time.
There it is. Makes one last bid. Can't get her done as Morrison will take the checkered, and the first Big Ed Ritchie A main event of the night is in the books. Morrison wins. Dietz 2, and to the checkered flag. To the podium we go.
It is a family racing team. 4 of you out here tonight. What's that like?
Well, that makes it funner. You got to beat your siblings, otherwise who else are you going to beat?
You put on a show out there running in third, chasing Mackenzie and chasing Quentin. You've chased Ricky and Quentin in the past. What is it like chasing down Mackenzie, a representation of that new gen coming up, and someone like Quentin, who's the old guard?
I'll finish second to Mackenzie every day because she's getting to be better and better. I'll finish second to all these kids. Quentin, we just got to beat him.
You put on a great show. Climb behind the wheel, the number 72. Who would you like to thank for tonight?
We'd like to thank Talbert, Jeff and Danny Talbert for letting me drive their car, and Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning.
Put on a great show. Third place tonight, driver of the number 72, Doug Wilkinson. Well, you got to watch the 3-hour out in Indianapolis. Then you swing on back here to Evergreen Speedway for 60 Minutes of Fear. 3 times you've been the best stock. Now you get your own race, racing there with Quentin. Walk us through those final few laps.
Oh man, it was so close through the intersection and there was just so much happening. I was just really hoping that I could make a last lap move like I have in the past, and you know, driving with Quentin, he's very tenured and has a lot of experience, and he knew what I was planning, so he made the right moves, and I tried to make a move at the end and I just didn't have enough for him. So
it was a great battle, race in, race out this season. You and Quentin neck and neck. When can we expect to see you in an Outlaw?
To be determined.
Fair enough. Who helped to get that 67 out here tonight?
My crew, my family, Jake, my fiance. We are actually getting married in 3 weeks, so we're really excited. Thank you. Mike, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, Ricky, just all the sponsors that helped us throughout this season. It's, you know, we had a great first half of the season and we just had really bad luck the second half of the season. So we're going to take what we learned this season and do what we can to come back next year and continue to race and hopefully get back up here more often.
Driver the number 67, Mackenzie Dietz, second place tonight. All right, Quentin, it's been a great season. Week in, week out, we've watched you perform the highest level. Year in, year out, you've been a perennial threat. What is that like?
You know, it's just amazing. Just to be able to drive the race car. Mary, it belongs to her, and she put me in it. And I'm just honored to be able to climb in behind the wheel of that thing and put on a show for everybody out here and just come and have the time of my life. And I owe that to her so much. Thank you so much, Mary. Mary Brubaker.
What's going through your mind there? Those final few laps, you've got Mackenzie right there on the back bumper. How do you keep your composure in a time like that?
Well, I just watched her a little bit, you know, and I was like, you know, championship night, it kind of worked backing off in the middle of the corner, and I knew that if I got up to those slow cars, she's really good. She's really good when it gets to that point, and I had a feeling she might get me there, so I just backed it down in the middle of the corners the last couple laps and left myself a little room to run with.
As always, a great show, Quentin. Who helped you get that thing out here?
Mary, first off, you know, for once again, you know, giving me the car to drive, and Tommy Gap for putting it together, Keith Taylor and Brandon Lovely, who were always helping me, my brother Shane, my friend Chris Harper's here tonight, my friends Dale Vocknitz and Peter Martin. Just good to see so many good people out here. I've got my friend Don and my friend Jason here. It just, you know, I'm sure there's other people in the stands here that I haven't seen yet and stuff, probably my friend Joe, but anyway, just a wonderful deal. I have to give a shout out to Mark Hubbard for letting us use the radios this year. That was amazing. I mean, I couldn't do it without Tommy's help on the radio. You know, I got Olympia Pizza House, you know, that sponsors the 52 car. There's so many people, you know, it's so hard to just remember everybody, but I do want to remember everybody in the stands here, man. What an amazing night tonight. Thank you all for showing up. Thank Evergreen Speedway. Thank you guys for doing the show that you do on Sunday nights. It's amazing. I love it. I hope everybody else tunes in on CB11 or Seattle 11 or whatever they're calling it now. It's great. It's great to be able to watch the races.
Superstock Figure 8 champion and your race winner, Quentin Borison.
Big trophy for Quentin Borison tonight here on Home Track Heroes. Congratulations to him. Way to end the season. We move on. 30 minutes now for the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Stinger 8's front row. Zach Bristol once again, the 07 out of Sonoma, sponsored by Hibbs Automotive. Next to him, Matt Somerville, the 21 out of Monroe, Airport Welding to Muffler.
Bardall aboard the 16 of Peyton Hopp out of Monroe. JBR aboard the 10 of Cody Hoops out of Marysville.
Bumperless Bill Bleen, 16B. Next to him, 73 of Derek Myers out of Arlington, the LRA Landscaping car.
B&R Drywall aboard the 102 of Randy Moffett, who hails from Everett. Resch Printing, number 85 of Hunter Jenkins from Monroe.
Devin Jenkins, 195 from Maltby PNW Traffic Control. Next to him, Mike Hathaway from Marysville, 46, Reppin Welding and Rail.
James Peak Honest Transmission out of Snohomish, 67X of Kylie Ansurian. All Ply Roofing LLC, 151 out of Arlington of Cody Weldon.
Captain Chaos, the 8 of Jacob Funk from Mill Creek, and Tegan Bjornson, the 59 from Arlington in the Misfit Motorsports car. Blaine Manning in 202. DJ Odell in 71. Green is out. Matt Somerville has won virtually everything this year and tries to do it again as he leads early here.
We'll see how that goes. He's going to have to beat both Zach Bristol in his Hornet as well as the number 10. Had a strong finish to the year of Cody Hoops.
Strong comeback year overall for Hoops. It started a little quiet, but certainly picked up here towards the tail end of it as he sits in position number 3, trying to chase down Bristol, who's given up a couple of car lengths to Somerville. Rules exactly the same here in this one. Yellow flag laps will count on the timer. Red flag laps, they do not happen, but if they do, they will stop the clock here for the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Stinger 8s, we should tell you. Buzz Inn Steakhouse, serving hand-cut Angus steaks, breakfast all day in the month, and mouth-watering burgers. Visit one of their 13 locations, Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Proud sponsor of the Stinger 8 division, has the intersection already buzzing. Buzzing. Intersection buzzing. No.
I got it.
Nothing?
I got it.
You're not winning the So into the North Pole or the left-hand set of corners, depending on how you want to call it. It can be either. You're accurate on both. And then in and through, Bristol had to lift. He saw the car attitude change, and that allowed Hoops to make a big run on him as they come up on Captain Chaos, and that allowed Somerville to get way away from all of them.
Look at the burst of cars they're going to have to deal with in just a couple of laps. Hoops and Bristol. They continued about 3 wide through the left-hander. Hoops on the advantage.
And it's almost like Bristol made a business decision there and kind of lifted. Let him go! Look out! Contact City coming off the corner. Weldon, who we know is a non-lifter.
And Hunter Jenkins, who's another one giving a thumbs up to our camera.
Thank you, Hunter. As you can see, the front clip of that car, all kinds of skewed rear into front, and Jenkins. Wow, what contact.
With whack.
No kidding. It's like the sound that the cranberry sauce makes coming out of the can. As you look at it from Hop's point of view, and shredded race car parts all over the place. Here's Weldon, and all of a sudden you're straight, and all of a sudden you're all kinds of sideways. Wow. Full 360 off of him. Let's see if he can keep going. Man, it was just a hair behind a door shot there.
Man, I have a sense of deja vu when it comes to those two making contact in the intersection in the Stinger 8 Crown Jewel race.
We know Jenkins is, plural, tend not to lift, and that's not Weldon's strong point, so yeah, it happened. We're back to green.
Put him back in the quad box. Derek Myers top right, Peyton Hopp bottom left, Mike Hathaway bottom right, the battle cam up in the top left. It is still Somerville, Bristol, and then the 10 of Hoops. They come around the line.
That gets Bristol that spot back for runner-up as we're 21 minutes and a few seconds away from the end of this one. Take a look. Somerville, Bristol, and Hoops. A couple of car lengths apart from all of them.
Hathaway.
Look out. That intersection strings quickly here in this field. Stinger 8's been throwing all year long, and Hathaway not getting fired up and started back up yet again. Everybody's eyes are on him.
I do know that Hathaway was having some trouble with the starter when he came onto the track.
Okay. See that, or he's plotting his revenge. Although the whole field has been by him now, so revenge could have been taken. And
yeah.
Hasn't. So Hathaway will hang out there. We'll see if he is still lingering as they'll pass around. There it is. Maybe he just has a really good view of turn 3 that he likes.
I'm sure it is a nice view.
In through the corners they go as they're trying to run each other down. Laps go quick here in the Stinger 8s. Again, you saw how fast that first 30 minutes went here at the final of their big season of racing. Somerville coming into the back of the field already and bringing the rest of the field with him.
Devin Jenkins going to be the first target on that list, number 195. That car has taken a beating over the course of the season. Started out painted a completely different color, but after an intersection hit, that brought an end to the black and green 195. And left us with the black and blue.
Opts not to race your leaders as they come on through. Hathaway still kind of hanging out, is now for fourth. Derek Myers versus Peyton Hop, battle of a couple of gray and yellow cars.
Yeah, 73 hasn't run full-time this year. Meanwhile, Hop, the Integrinator 2.0, picked up a couple of wins, finished second to Somerville, did everything he could to try and win it all, but just came up that itty-bitty bit too short.
Somerville, that was a bold bid to the inside of Surrey, and who we've already seen roughed up a little on this program. He'll make his way by.
Yellow in the air.
So caution flag out, blinking lights are on around the track, as I think we're finally gonna pull Mike away and say, all right, let's get you up and going, or off and into the pit area, whatever needs to be done. And here's how it happened. He came in through the corner and just pinched between Bleem and Manning in through there.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of side of the poor innocent Uke tire. Never fails. Uke tire gets hit every show here on Home Track Heroes. You can mark it off. Just check it every time.
Wasn't Devin this time.
Well, points for Devin. All right, they are Delaware-style 2x2, stacked in behind your leader, Matt Somerville, as we're closing in on the halfway point here of the Steer 8 main event at the big end, Richie 60 minutes of fear. Into the corner, it's a wide path taken by Hoops, but he is still close enough to Bristol to pressure him getting into the North Pole, but not close enough to be side by side with him.
Close enough, though, to give him a little bit of a bump. Just remind him, hello, I'm here. Here to make life a little difficult.
Hop may have taken the opportunity to get by Myers. He does so. Peyton Hop up into fourth. And he might have company coming through with him. Is that Bleem 16 trying to make the move?
Yeah, 216s trying to get past 73. That is Bleem. Bleem gets into Myers up the track, goes 73.
Saw Myers kind of skittering out of the groove. Gathers back together, didn't lose too many spots, but a rough couple of laps for the 73 of Myers. Let's see how he rebounds. As once again, Matt Somerville. It's easy to be out front so far tonight in all of our main events. Let's see if that changes at some point in time.
Yeah, the intersection is a fickle mistress. It giveth and taketh away. The 1 and the 10, though, are pretty caught up with one another. And that's going to work out in Somerville's favor as long as he's able to play it safe.
Oh boy. Well, safety may not be a luxury that he has for too long, because side by side and all over the place as they are crossing racetrack right on the tail of one of those cars, but he ended up making it through. And then a couple of cars have slowed up to stop, making a business decision to not go through the intersection as quick as they were, and that benefits your race leader. Ooh,
almost is the detriment of the number 1 there. Zach Bristol managed to navigate his way past Weldon and Devin Jenkins. Hoops caught behind the 195 is going to give the 1 some breathing room.
Got off the arrow down there by the Uke tire coming through the corner as Hoops now having to dodge and weave a little bit. Making his way underneath the now gray car of Captain Chaos. When he prints that t-shirt, I want royalties. As it is Somerville working around Hathaway, who got it restarted. And Bristol closing in. Less than halfway to go. 17 seconds under the 15-minute mark, and here comes Bristol, soaking up that advantage as they race their way up to Surrian in the intersection, and they're both on the outside of it. Lucky for both of them, no traffic coming through at the time.
Yeah, Surrian making the Stinger 8 debut, doing pretty well for a newcomer to this division, which is an unforgiving mistress at times.
Been a youth Hornet driver over the course of the year tonight in the Hornet class and the Stinger 8. It's a big jump for Kylie here.
As the 1 does get by, Surrian and Hathaway going to form a barrier against Hoops in the number 10. Caught back there, still trying to chase down Zach Bristol's number 1, while the 6 teams are going for it.
Oh, heads up Kylie Ann, ends up making her way through. Peyton Hop, whoa, big old love tap right back to Bill, who used a body slam in one corner, and some front bumper from Peyton in the other corner as Retribution slinging the car around, coming up on Surrian. If I'm Kylie, I might be watching what's going on behind me and saying, get out the way, as that's the battle for the lead.
I don't know what resulted in the 21 being forced to cut. That first Uke tire doesn't advance position, so we stay good. officials-wise is the captain of chaos, slowly making his way through the intersection.
Captain of Chaos, Jacob Funk, something odd always happens around there. As look out, 16 cars and Randy Moffitt in on Surian. There goes the big move from Bleem, and he's gonna pick up the spot and try to bring Moffitt with him.
Somerville here in the number 21. You see the view.
Oh my goodness. Choo-choo.
That is a nest of stingers there.
You know, if he hated the train, I would understand. I love the train.
Oh, he
Through
made it
the intersection, it's a narrow gap, and you see the evasive action that Bristol had to take.
Bristol had to let off a ton there. He's gonna kill his momentum chasing down the number 21.
Wow. Swerving Randy Moffitt like the guys coming from left to right lanes on I-5, but he made it through.
I think Somerville becoming acutely aware that if he slows down even for a moment, it might allow Bristol or Hoops or both to get to him.
And it's Moffitt swerving for Somerville. So a couple of fast cars, you can see the advantage that Somerville finally built there, but realistically, 4th and 5th are swerving for your leader. That's the advantage Matt has delivered at this point.
Yeah, this 21 machine on fire, trying to finish off a championship season with a 30 minutes of fear title.
Ooh, boy, had to make a big adjustment there. Zach Bristol nearly sideways to avoid Myers and Hoops. Right place, right time. Gonna sneak underneath him for second as they look to put Myers in the rear view mirror. What a battle that has been for the 2 spot. We've got to take a break. We'll come up and finish the Stinger 8 main event. When we come back, there's your leader slowing down. It's Home Track Heroes. We got to take a break. We come back as time is starting to get very, very short. The Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event here at the Big Ed Ritchie 60 Minutes of Fear on Home Track Heroes. It's our Season 5 finale. Look out, Zach Bristol, as he is into the intersection and gets his way through. There's your leader. Matt Somerville is in the white number 21 car. I am Caleb Hart, and I'm joined by Derek Todoroff in what, as usual, has been a stellar Stinger 8 main event, Derek.
Hey, they steal the show. That's their motto, Stinger steal the show. You see Somerville not too far ahead of Bristol and Hoops, both of whom you see lurking at the edge of your screen, trying to chase him down, grab some opportunity, and this is a solid one right here as Somerville caught in a bunch of cars half away, Myers and Hop.
Yeah, that traffic is all around him, holding him up, and here comes Bristol and Hoops. They're just looking for opportunity. Now Myers getting flung out like he just did. He's gonna open up the door for Somerville to sneak up the inside line and put Hathaway in his rear view mirror with just over a minute to go. Our program brought to you by Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. With everybody else on the hunt trying to get him, but 2 cars blocking your 2nd and 3rd place cars. It's like a couple of mini Lion bots blocking the bigger Lion bots and not letting them form Voltron. They come off the corner, Somerville getting away. 2nd and 3rd are kind of trapped.
Yeah, they're going to go neck and neck, side by side. Hathaway slides out of the way, but Surian going to replace him in front of the 1 machine. Ooh, Hop gets a door slam from Surian, allowing Bristol to get to the inside, and those two continue their battle for second, neck and neck out of the corner. Somerville loving this.
It looked like Hoops was going to have it through that move that he made. He had such an advantage, but Bristol comes storming back as Hoops still kind of stuck following the car in front of him. Myers ducks down. Here comes Bristol looking to replace him on the inside as we've got 1 lap to go. Somerville's loving the action behind him because it's going to get him the win here.
Bristol has the advantage of that corner, but we focus on Somerville through the intersection for the final time. Clock ticking down to expiration. Hoops has made it through the intersection ahead of the number 1. Out of the final corner, checkered flies for Matt Somerville. And Cody Hoops with the last lap pass, gonna grab second away from Zach Bristol in 3rd.
What a main it was. We go down to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium and talk to your top 3.
All right, Zach, so first, Hornet National, now you turn the 8. Talk about pulling double duty. What's that like?
It's a workout. That was half hour after 50 laps. I'm worn out. I could tell on the second half of that race, I was just hanging on for dear life. Carl was in the same boat. We really got tight. Tires kind of came in the first 10, 20 laps, and then the car just kind of fell off. I was hoping to hold off Cody, but lap traffic, they went right when I needed them to go left, but to get a podium with a Hornet car and Stinger 8s, that's a win for me.
And again, who do you want to thank for helping you get out of here?
I want to thank Tommy Candy Hibbs, beautiful girlfriend Sarah. I forgot him last time. Hornet Nest Racing, GN Northwest with the Millers. What a great group of guys and gals that we had back there having fun. Stingray class, I'm starting to get the itch to run figure 8 again. And yeah, it's a nice little cap for the season. This is kind of our last race of the year for that car. We're going to rebuild it, and we'll see who's in it next year. I want to thank, again, fans, thank you for coming out. Hopefully you're enjoying the figure 8 race, and Outlaws are about to come out. You'll get to see some pretty fast speed out of these suckers, so hope you enjoy it.
Let's give it up. Third place tonight, Zach Bristol. Cody, tough race, obviously 61 laps in 30 minutes, and you and Zach side by side in the fast three. Just walk me through that.
You know, it was a wild race. I wasn't expecting that much intersection. Zach pretty much had me the whole time. I got around him, but that caution, he ended up back in front of me. Followed him the whole race. I didn't think I had much for him, but the lap traffic comes into play, so got around him in the last corner.
And getting up on the podium, finishing it here in the Little 30. Talk about how's this to the end of the season?
Oh, it's great. The season really finished good. Couple wins, a couple podiums. Just excited to be here. Got a fast race car, and it's in one piece.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out of here?
I want to thank JBR, John Bender, Uncle Wayne, Tom Easley, Matt Somerville, Cascade Auto, and Vinyl Status.
Let's give it up. Oh, one more.
And my neighbor, James, helping me out.
Let's give it second place tonight, Cody Hoops.
Dude, I get to keep this?
Yes, that is yours. Matt, long gear, but track championship and now Little 30 winner. Just walk me through how's the year been for you?
It's been a crazy year. I mean, I started the season off with 3 flats, no intentions of running a full season, and then ran every single race. And this was actually the race that I was looking forward to the most all season, hands down.
Yeah, this crowd tonight, talk about what's it like driving like a crew like this and also driving with all the competitors out there.
I mean, it's so much fun. Half of these guys are, my best friends that I've been racing with forever. I mean, Zach and Cody, I was battling with these guys 15 years ago, and it's just fun to keep going.
And who do you want to thank helping get out here?
JBR Racing. Wayne's been on tires all day and helping out. And Airport Welding and Muffler. I got my family. These are all my supporters. Got my brother and sister-in-law. They got a new baby over here. We've got little babies all over the place, it seems like. Got this little guy. Yeah, just thank you to all those people. And Riley and Dave Riddell. They've been loaning out their tools for the day.
Let's give it up. Driver of the 21, race winner, Matt Somerville.
Heck of a season, Matt Somerville. Let's move into the third leg of the 60 Minutes of Fear. It is time for the Chain Lake Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8s. 30 minutes on the clock for them. Ryan Clark on the pole from Granite Falls, the Bulldog Haven 51. Chris Curtis next to him, the 74 out of Arlington, sponsored by MCA Creations.
The Monroe native, number 50, Cowboy John Carlson, sponsored by the Fireplace Guy, Hearth and Home LLC. Driving his brother's car, 767 out of Arlington, Ricky Dietz in the A1 Auto Service Center machine.
Nick Holden's the 71 Northwest Adventure Rental. Zach Larson, the 83G. And the Fireplace Guy, John Carlson, Hearth and Home. Yeah, row 4.
Green Flag Waves, but Cobalt Cycles in Granite Falls, aboard 35, Haley Wilkinson out of Lake Stevens. Also out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tony V's Garage, Dakota Wilkinson, the 25.
James Conley starts the 5th row. Bulldog Haven Northwest, Mike Middleton next to him, the 3G out of Arlington, Gunderson Speed Shop.
Pilchuck Heating aboard 72 of Doug Wilkinson, and PECU aboard 67 of Jake Rappin.
Row behind them, JE55, Jess Wilkinson, Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning, Robert Walton, 63 out of Arlington, All Play Roofing, LLC.
17X of Sheridan Vincent, sponsored by McCarthy General Contractor. 49 of Don Eslick, sponsored by Central Welding.
And Guy Litz, the 88, Protocol Plumbing sponsors him. 17 of them out there for the 30 minutes. This is the Big Ed Ritchie 60 Minutes for your main event. Now, of note, driver who has led lap number 1 has led them all in the Stingers and led them all in the Superstocks. Will that change?
And in the Hornets.
And in the Hornets, yeah. Will that change here in the main event for the Outlaws? As they're off, they're running, and the thing that we love here about this one, with those Superstocks added in to start, we get intersection traffic. We get early and often. That really makes your Outlaw racing vastly better.
Curtis, Clark, Cowboy, your top three. Clark right here to the back bumper of his teammate, the 74 of Chris Curtis. That 51 machine has had a pretty good end of this season, as the intersection already being weaved through by the 50. Cowboy with a lot of experience, the most decorated driver in this one.
And this is something to really monitor in this one again as the intersection stays busy. No car has the throttle response in figure eight racing that an Outlaw does, between the custom-built fab frame, the tire, and how much power they can get down to the ground out of these motors. If they need to lift, get on it, lift again, or on it, lift, on it again, whatever order it is, these guys can do it. That's how these cars are built. It should make a fascinating main event.
A lot of these drivers do not brake in these corners. They simply let off the gas pedal. That's how they slow down. And that should tell you just the power of these massive engines underneath the hood. We ride along with Zach Larson. He cuts right behind Haley Wilkinson. Still chasing down the Cowboy, John Carlson.
We should say it as well, and you know this as well as anybody, Derek. The rules in this division are very minimal. It is build the fastest race car you can within, I mean, it's a very loose set of specs, but build the fastest car you can. You want to run a big wing, you want to run a small wing, what kind of motor you want to put in it. Here's the tire you're going to run on. Go make the fastest laps you can.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of similarities in our cars out here at Evergreen Speedway. Some other tracks, you'll see bigger wings, shorter wings. It all depends on what your track is built for. And here at Evergreen, this is the pretty universal and effective design.
Through the intersection they go as Curtis continues to hold the top spot over Clark. It is traffic ahead, repping up there, racing next to, I think, Conley at this point in time. And they are right in front of your lead pair just 4 minutes into this. Weave through, darn near 3 wide for a second. Splitting the difference, Chris Curtis, the muscle hamster, coming up and through and holds the top spot.
Clark following him through the hole in the line as, whoa, Conley perhaps getting tagged by the 50 of Cowboy. Slower car bouncing off the front bumper. That's just figure eight racing, my friend.
That's how it goes down. You're right. Look out. Strung on the outside is Curtis. Clark looking for opportunity to sneak in, but Chris will make his way by, making the right-hand corner.
There's a battle for a moment there for third. Larson tried to peek underneath Cowboy. But up front, it is still the Curtis and Clark show. About 4 minutes into this one, Doug Wilkinson, the lap car behind them. One in front of them coming up is Haley Wilkinson.
Been a fascinating battle already here in this one. Curtis and Clark carving through a bit of the back of the field and now starting to come up on some of their Outlaw brethren. Sister in this case, and Haley Wilkinson, who's lingering up in front of them. Meanwhile, Zach Larson chasing down the back of Cowboy Carlson. Good battle for third, good battle for the lead too.
And by no means count out the driver who's running in the 5th place spot right now. That is Ricky Dietz. But we're going side by side for the lead. Clark on the high, Curtis on the low, through the left-hand corner.
Door panel to door panel, in and through. Clark gets the bottom. Curtis has got to go way up to the top shelf, and that's going to cost him the lead. We got to pass for the top spot. Coming through the South Pole, Ryan Clark into the top spot.
First pass for the lead of the night so far. Ryan Clark to the point. Chris Curtis running in second. Cowboy John Carlson running in third.
Third and fourth really jumped up on that battle for first and second in a hurry as traffic got super hairy. We were talking about the intersection being hairy, but really this is the side-by-side action in front of your leaders that has determined your top 2 spots early on.
Don Eslick and Robert Weldon slide back behind your race leader, the 51 of Clark. That's going to push the 74 of Curtis wide, slow him down, make it harder to catch up to teammate Ryan Clark. Ticking down the time. Guess I can't say ticking down the laps this time.
No, clock is going, and the clock right now is the ally of everybody else because it's still early in this one. It's the enemy of Ryan Clark, at least for the time being, but he's clear of Reppin, as looks like second and third are getting around the beautiful yellow underglow on the Weldon car. Just picked that up in one of the corners. It looks good.
There's something special about underglow. It makes everything look better.
It made the DriftCon in the Dark show last week on Home Track Heroes look awfully good. Just saying.
Hear that.
Down to the bottom, there goes Cowboy, trying to get himself clear of Don Eastlick as they make their way into the North Pole in the left-hand corners. So Cowboy clear for third right now. Let's see if he can chase down Curtis as Clark finally getting some breathing room out in front of this and stretching his legs. Curtis trying to get in between and work his way through. The lap car of Vincent is in between him and Carlson, as the intersection's still awfully hot.
Clark with a big let up there, not punished for it as it was a good decision at the time. Curtis now falling back from the 51. Is Clark making the right decisions when it comes to the moment here in the intersection?
Well, let's talk about right decisions. The right decision is to go up to Angel Winds Casino Resort and get in on the sports betting. If you make the right decision with your sports betting, you can walk away with some serious bucks. You can pick a winner and prove it at the Angel Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle, exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington.
Battle raging on for the race lead. It's been close all race long between these two star-spangled cars. The Cowboy sits in third, waiting, I'd say, patiently for this one as we go quad box once again. Cowboy top right, the Survivor bottom left, and Dakota Wilkinson in the bottom right.
Wilkinson, familiar with big race wins. Of course, last year here in our, did he take Figure 8 Nationals and 60 Minutes last year?
Just 60 Minutes. He went on a tear at the end of the year.
Yep, so it is the defending champion of the 60 Minutes in the bottom right-hand corner. Ricky Dietz physicaling up on Zach Larson. Larson will get away. Dietz lifts to get through the intersection. He's going to have to chase him back down, but physicality between the two of them in the bottom left.
So how close Carlson is cutting it. This is a special sort of view. You really get to see the game of inches going on in the intersection, as well as the different driving styles of everyone. You can see how Ricky kicks the back end out so much versus how someone like Dakota tends to take it a little bit more on the line. Cowboy, that happy medium.
Yeah, car spun out. Dietz just looped himself up and around. I want to say Zach Larson. Was he hanging out on the inside? I saw a flash of bright orange down there. He must have gotten fired up and back again. What a pack that Dietz is trying to navigate his way through.
We're watching the lead battle both on the top left and from Dakota Wilkinson's perspective. He's a lap down, following them in, going right behind his uncle Ricky. As Clark trying to get away, he's put 2 lapped cars between him and Curtis.
And he managed to push his way through. This is kind of the bugaboo that got Curtis earlier, as that he couldn't find a clean lane in and through those lapped cars, and that's when Clark got him. This time the two of them are both clear of that pack of traffic that just has made things all kinds of fun here in the Outlaws. Dakota Wilkinson now going to get to battle in and through it, as he's going to be on the outside. Look out, intersection time. Getting all kinds of hairy. As we flash back up to your lead, there's Clark trying to get around Weldon. Curtis right there, and now with Holton up to bat to try to put him down.
Making it through. Curtis just right there. No matter how many groups of lap cars they go through, no matter how many great laps through the 51 turn, just feels like the 74 not letting go, tethered to the back of Ryan Clark's machine. They come up here, as you mentioned, on Nick Holton's number 71. Clark, Curtis, Cowboy, still your top 3.
Chris Curtis, your season champion, as you see Zach Larson just narrowly skating through the intersection. Working around the spun out James Conley. Conley will fire it back up. For a guy like Larson, and you know, the bulk of your top 5, lots of experience here in this race in particular. For a guy like Conley, who hasn't run a whole bunch of this, valuable laps, every single one of them with a big pack of cars, and so much happening for such a long race.
Conley with a past in figure eight racing, just not behind the wheel of an Outlaw. Was real excited to take to this track for this big one this year, and I know he's enjoyed every moment of it. Told me before, it's not about winning these races all the time, it's about going out there racing with people that you care about and having fun.
We have the race for the lead once again. Holton got the love tap and finally got pushed to the outer groove. Curtis looking for opportunity. You saw Clark think about looping to the outside, but he decided to get back down low to put the block on Curtis rather than attack Holton. Big old brake check, getting into the North Pole. They'll fight each other for it. Holton's going to get up wide and kind of out of the way. Clark does not try it though. He's going to pull back to the inside, and there he'll get Holton coming through this corner. Looks like it was the right choice. Look out, Curtis, intersection coming after him, but he will sneak through.
I think Clark flashed back to that moment he got by Curtis. When Curtis got stuck on the high side, didn't want the same thing to happen to him, so waited for an opportunity on the lower lane, and it's going to benefit him, putting that gap, maybe temporary, against the number 74, as we've seen Curtis close so much in this one.
He races like a bulldog. He is just unrelenting. He will keep coming and keep coming until they can stop him. As Clark has that top spot. He bought himself a lap or two to breathe, while Curtis is going to have to catch back up to him. That is the 4th place battle, kind of in your screen. We had seen Dakota Wilkinson closer to the Cowboy a few laps back. Cowboy has stretched from him and is trying to run down the top 2, but Wilkinson was awfully close for a second or two.
Yeah, Cowboy in the number 50, pulling away, trying to chase down the Boney Brothers teammates up front. Curtis further back than I feel like we've seen him all race long from Ryan Clark. 51 shoots the intersection once again, about 12 minutes into this one, 18 to go.
That can change in a hurry, though. We've seen that happen a couple of times. Like you said, 18 minutes and a few left here in the Outlaw main event, as Curtis to the inside of Doug Wilkinson to make the pass on him, put him further down. And now everybody else going to have to follow suit, and I think we just saw contact. We did. It was Wilkinson and Curtis.
Dakota Wilkinson, Chris Curtis in the intersection, making contact. We got some replays to take a look at. Oh,
man, Dakota was just trying to creep, and he could not slow that car down nearly enough, and he gets right in to the right rear of Chris Curtis. That's 2nd and 4th, respectively. Chunk right there.
Saw that great view from Jake Reppin. Here is from the front of Dakota. Big hit.
Wow. Take 2 contenders and scramble them up. Holy cow. What an impact. And we don't see that in the Outlaws often, but that's what this race can breed.
Hey, that is the lesson of figure 8 racing, how close these races can be. Clark restarts him here, as that was a red flag, meaning we lost barely any time until we went back yellow. Clark immediately jumping away from Cowboy and now Ricky Dietz.
It's kind of a new lease on life for Cowboy and Dietz, who really hadn't been able to make any ground up on Curtis. Now they're going to go right to her and see if they've got anything here on the night for Ryan Clark. Before we find out if they do, we got to take a time out. We'll be back with the conclusion of Big Ed Ritchie. Figure 8 auto racing, 60 minutes of fear, next on Home Track Heroes. We are back at the 60 minutes of fear, 7 minutes left in our final leg of it, and you are watching the Outlaw Figure 8 main event here on Home Track Heroes. Ryan Clark, the Black 51, is your leader from the nose of Cowboy Carlson, right on his tail as they try to make their way by. Right before the break, we saw a collision involving the 25 Dakota Wilkinson. Nice job by that team to just get that car rollable enough to where he can still be out there and compete, although Wilkinson very clearly off the pace from what he was at a little bit earlier.
And they got a good crew back behind that number 25 car as Cowboy gets around him, heads right back behind the 81, and resumes his pursuit of Ryan Clark. You see, he sustained some right rear damage while we were at the break. It was a real close call. We were wondering if he tagged that right rear tire, as flashing back to Figure 8 Nationals, Ryan Clark was running 2nd throughout the race, got tagged in the right rear and lost the tire with 2 to go, and unfortunately finished off the podium.
Well, that'll cause a little trepidation on his part. Our program today brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Derek Todoroff, as here we are, season 5 finale. Last chance for you to get a look at a little bit of figure 8 action. We still have more to come on the program after this, so stay tuned, guys. It's not done yet. Even once we finish this one off in another 6 minutes and 7 seconds, we still have mini bump to pass and bus racing coming up in just a minute.
I think some lights coming to life on the front of the number 50. A little bit of glow 6. I don't know. Were those there before? Am I just blind? That's quite possible.
You know, maybe it's the glare.
My eyes are failing.
Maybe somebody hit a light pole. I don't know. I missed it.
That one would be, I feel like that one we would have noticed.
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't change the direction of the light pole and maybe just turn the lights out. That'd be a FEAR to remember.
That it would be. Under no lights.
It's happened in the state of Washington before. That's a longer story than this. As here we go, Clark and Carlson, no lappers in between them. Dietz lingering in the 3rd spot, but this has really been Ryan Clark's race to control since he took over that top spot about 5 minutes into it.
Yeah, he hasn't looked back. The driver who won at State Line and Evergreen earlier on in this year. We got the 63 spun around, Robert Weldon, and we see the yellow. I saw it. Back into your screen.
indeed. Might have another car involved in this as well. Let's take a look and see how it happens as Weldon fires it up. Yellow underglow and a little sparkage at the same time. Ooh.
That'll do it.
Yep, Haley Wilkinson getting a part of that. Second look from our speed cam on the front straightaway, and just enough to get Weldon around. Here from Brother Dakota's point of view. Bye, sister. Thanks for, not getting me involved in the accident.
Thump.
Whatever worked. So, unconfirmed reports from the pit area is that Wilkinson's dealing with a sway bar issue. Part of the reason that he is off pace from what he was is he was fourth during the portion of the big hit. We're back to action. 2-minute warning time. Green flag out for Ryan Clark.
And immediately top three getting a single file line. Clark, Cowboy, and then Ricky. The survivor running in third won the inaugural one of these 30 years ago, trying to pursue his way to a grand victory on the 30th anniversary.
Considering everything he has been fighting through here on the year, a podium appearance for Ricky Dietz will really be a something. As, taking a look, Zach Larson fighting with Nick a little bit further back in the field. That driver is running in the 4th and 5th position, and that is 4th position between the two of them.
Yeah, close battle as Don Eslick goes around and the 49 keeps it going. As we're approaching the 1 minute mark. 51, Ryan Clark comes across the line.
Now remind you, it's not just going to go checkered flag when it hits the all zeros. They're going to kind of time it up so when it's close to that, they'll get a little white flag. So we'll see how it works. It's really about, I want to say 3 laps there about left. As you see Dietz right up on the back of Carlson, trying to make their way through and pointing at the leader so everybody knows where it is. Wilkinson slow in the intersection, Haley version. Everybody makes their way through. As we're coming to her, Ryan Clark, maybe 2 more passes for the biggest race of his career if he can pull this off.
I do believe it will be 2 to go as he crosses the line. The 51 leading the way. He's got 2 legends behind him, totaling, I believe, 12 figure 8 championships between the 50 and the 767. As he works his way through the left-hand corner, Ryan Clark is the one seeing the white flag one more time around to win 60 minutes of fear.
All he's got to do is 1 more intersection pass for safety. He's going to get through. Carlson hammering down as hard as he can. But tonight belonged to Ryan Clark, who off the corner takes the win at the 60 minutes of fear. Carlson 2 and 3rd to the kid, Ricky Dietz. Congratulations to him. What a year it has been amongst all the things he's fought through. Let's go trackside. It is time for the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
All right, Ricky, you were chasing down Cowboy and Clark. One representing the old guard of this track, an 8-time champion, one representing the up-and-coming youth movement. What's going through your head in those final few minutes chasing down those 2?
Car just don't fail me, and I was just kind of hoping they might get caught up in the intersection or something where I might be able to sneak through. I didn't get to put new tires on my car today, not because of my sponsor didn't have them, just because we couldn't get them mounted. Don't get me wrong, Tire Pros hooked me up with a set of tires. They just couldn't get them beaded on my wheel, so I started this main event with, I don't know, a bunch of laps on these tires. So maybe a little better set of tires. I might have been able to give them a little bit more of a run for their money, but I'm happy with where we ended up. My brother's car, thank you, Jamie, for letting me use your car, because mine's got a blowed up motor, and it's a good car. It really is.
It's been a long year for you. You've overcome a lot. Finishing here, podium still, 30 years after your win at the inaugural one. That's got to feel pretty good.
It does feel pretty good. I just had my first CAT scan after my treatment Thursday. And I got my results, but I'm too dumb to read them. I don't know what they're telling me, so I guess I gotta wait till Monday to find out if we're cancer-free. But it does feel really good to make it on the podium with this race.
And who would you like to thank for tonight?
Well, first off, I need to thank the good Lord above for keeping me still alive so I can do this. And my brother Jamie for letting me use his baby. My girlfriend Katie for putting up with my crap all year long. Paul Peterson, Augie, which he isn't here tonight. He's normally my spotter, but my brother did a good job. I said Paul Peterson, Bobby Black, Tire Pros from the shop of Arlington, A&I Auto Service, Tire Pros in Simmons Garage from Clinton, Ryan Berg for being a family member now, not just a friend or a sponsor, Youngley's family, and especially you fans for coming out here and allowing me to do what I love to do. Thank you.
Driver of the 767, third place tonight, Ricky Dietz. All right, so first question, Ben wants me to ask, do you race with the cowboy boots on?
Oh, damn straight I do. I've been doing it for 30 years, and the buckle.
You certainly put on a show out there. Sandwiched between Ricky, driver you've had, I would argue, hundreds of races with, weaving back and forth through the intersection, chasing Ryan Clark, the new guard, the young gun, coming up through the field. What's your perspective on that?
You know, it's a lot of fun. This is what figure eight racing's all about, having a mixture of cars out there, putting on a show. It's fun racing with the young guys up and coming. We need more of them. Me and Ricky, we've been plugging along for a long time at this. We've had a lot of fun racing together, putting on shows for you guys. Hopefully we can keep doing it and have a lot more fun.
There's a lot more to come. I know that next season we're ready for more exciting Outlaw Figure Eight action. How are you feeling going into that one?
We'll see how next year goes. You know, I always take it one race at a time with everything I've been doing, so when open night comes, we give her all she can and take it from there.
And who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Well, I always got to throw a shout out to my buddy Tony. He's back home working out of his shop, letting me do everything, and he deals with me and puts up with me. I got my Cabo Loco guys are up here with me. Thanks for them. They sponsor me. I got my girlfriend over here. She's coming out with me, dealing with me all the time. My son showed up tonight. He helped me a little bit. That's it. And the fans, thank you guys. Hope you like the show.
Second place tonight, driver of the number 50, the Cowboy, John Carlson.
I'm not letting this one fall
This This feels very reminiscent of last year when I got to do a similar thing, talking to someone who I grew up in these stands with. You remember watching your dad, watching Chris on this very track behind us. You remember watching 60 Minutes of Fear. You did it. What's it feel like?
I really can't explain this. This is just, we have worked so hard on this car to make it fast, and this second half of the season we really found something, and you know, this car is such a fast car, and tonight we were right there with my Uncle Chris, and when I got the lead, I'm like, all right, time to just cruise, and he let me know he was still there. He kept giving me the bumper, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's cool. We'll do this for about 20 more minutes, and you know, I feel so bad for him because, you know, me and him worked so hard on these cars to make them fast along with his team, and to see him go out like that, it really sucks. But yeah, to win 60 Minutes of Fear is just something that I can't describe. I really can't. This is our crown jewel in the Northwest about figure eight racing. And to win it is just, oh my God, I feel great.
I've messed with you about the nickname in the past. I'd say tonight you earned it. Up there, front row, hold on to it, put on a show. 30 minutes is a long time to be in a race car. How are you processing that as it starts to get closer and closer, as the dream starts to become more and more real?
It's like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. I wish we had a clock out here, because when the red flag came out, I asked our flagger, hey, how much time we got? And he's like, I don't know. So I'm like, all right, well, we gotta go. We went green again, and I'm thinking like we're 25 minutes in. I'm like, come on, grab the white flag, grab the white flag. And then we get a caution, and I'm like, all right, now at least the clock's ticking. But yeah, it's to the start of the race, and you're just focused about making it through the intersection, making it through lap traffic, staying there with the leader, or, you know, get to the lead and just hitting every mark. Make sure you get around lap traffic just right. And once you get to that last 5 minutes, you're like, all right, now it's go time. The tires were gone, but still, just to get there to the end, and finally the white flag comes out, and you're like, all right, one more time around and you got it. So just do it perfect.
The race is here, the season across the country, and this race. I know you got a lot of people back there. Who helps you do it?
I got the best group of sponsors I could ever ask for. I got Bulldog Haven Northwest, Action Machine, Thermotech Powder Coating, Bud Barton's Glass, MBQ Chassis, Boney Motorsports, Holton Racing, MCA Creations. Oh gosh, there's so many on this car, and I can't thank them enough. I especially got to thank Thermotech Powder Coating, but you know, I got to thank the most important people that helped me with this, and that would be Cena Curtis, my uncle Chris Curtis. Oh my gosh, there's so many people in this team. My mom, my dad, Jeff Reinstra, Jason Holton, Nick Holton, Connie Holton, all these people that are there joking with me, giving me crap, and helping me on this car. I cannot thank them enough. So thank you all so much. Thank you to the fans for coming out here tonight, giving us a show to put on for you guys, and we cannot wait for next season to put on another great season.
Well, Ryan, I'm going to get Ben the opportunity to deliver one final little gift to you, because you are the winner of the 30th anniversary race, and you are $3,000 richer. Sign on the dotted line, Ryan Clark. You have won 60 Minutes of Fear.
Congrats on the $3,000 to Ryan Clark. As we move to Mini Bump to Pass, I'm Caleb Hart. He's Derek Todoroff, available for weddings, funerals, and bar mitzvahs during the off-season. As we get ready to rock and roll with the Mini Bump to Pass, there's a bunch of cars here. We don't really have a lineup, so we'll just call them off as we can see it. Get them. How's that sound, Derek?
That sounds pretty good. I also do hockey, by the way.
Not nearly as thrilling.
As a funeral?
Yeah. You not announced a funeral before?
Well, it's been a bit.
Crowd's a little dead. As we work our way in and through, car with the wings, the 23R, the Sprinto Pinto of Hunter Jenkins up and in front of this one. He will lead the crowd up and through. Production staff is laughing because that was a terrible joke, but that's what I appreciate about our production staff. Green flag is out.
We have fun here. Immediately, there's cars moving throughout the field. The 168 leading the way. That is Mr. Peanut riding along. Meanwhile, the Battle Wagon, the V8, going to just slam into the corner, and the leader is spinning in front of everyone.
Jacob Thornborough is driving a minivan that looks like a school bus.
Yes, he is.
That's almost bus racing, Mini Bump to Pass style. I love it. Print the t-shirt.
The Magic School Bus in the 07. The flag is waving. Now you can officially bump to pass.
Yeah, they didn't pay any attention.
Despite that stack up on the first corner, we're not supposed to be doing that yet, but who cares, man?
Minibus, crashing the field like a minibus with the stop sign painted. Stop! Bang! Love it.
Cherry Bomb spins out the Magic School Bus, but they're going to come out right alongside one another anyways, as there's Mr. Peanut on the outside.
Have they got a flagpole in the back straightaway? Is that what's happening here?
It's a tire, but we can call it a flagpole.
We don't know how it identifies, so we're going to call it a flagpole.
Sure.
If that's what it wants to be, it's going to be that. As we are green and causing all the chaos. Look out! Oh, the minibus almost got destroyed. Michael Turner's in the 022, who is already shredding a bumper cover. The 168, you call that Mr. Peanut. Kyle Elliott is the driver. He's around. The white 13 is Alex Kroll, who is nicknameless, but if you find one for him, go ahead and roll with that.
It kind of looked like he wrote Daily DMV on the side of that thing. I don't know, though.
I don't know why anybody would want to spend a day in the DMV, much less all of them. That's ridiculous. Steve Peters, Battle Wagon with Battle Wagon style, and then Bill Bleem says, I can be bumperless. That's fine. Smash over into Bleem as he'll drive away. Peters keeps going. And then it's the 187 on the clock.
Mr. Mohawk.
Elijah Whitney laying some carnage.
Getting some help from the Super Sprinto Pinto, the 23R. Under the micro sprint wing on the roof.
That is a Dylan Resch top wing. And you know what I know about a Dylan Resch top wing? Inevitably it wrecks.
Good to know.
Yes. Hello, Dylan. Love you. Sorry I beat you so bad in fantasy football this year. As they work their way down the front straightaway. Oh, Jacob Thornborough in the minibus doing everything. He's even got shark teeth across the front of it.
I don't recall that on my school bus.
You didn't ride the cool school bus, did you?
No, I was lonely.
Ah, did they make you ride the bike to school?
No, not both
Is
ways.
that a mini truck?
That is a mini truck. It is a mini Tiger truck driven by Tony the Tiger Truck Timlick.
I love it. Loving it. Sprinto Pinto is about to get wrecked. All kinds of good. In and around, we should tell you. Mini bump to pass racing in this segment on Home Track Heroes is brought to you by Busch Beer, the official beer of NASCAR and Evergreen Speedway. Busch Beer, the sound of refreshment, crisp and cold. Mountain streams. Yeah, they're stocking it with Busch and Busch Light.
I've been told it's good. I can't comment.
Delicious. It's the thing these mini bump to pass drivers will need post-race. As the Pac-Man. Is that Mrs. Pac-Man? Is that lipstick on it?
That's Zombie Pac-Man. That is blood.
Oh, well, it's October. That fits the theme. In and through. And who popped the hatch? Who popped the... It's the 39.
That's
right.
Mr. Rollover Contest, a $50 bounty on whoever can make the 39 flip.
Andrew Zachary is the driver of that one. If that's a station wagon, not a Pinto.
It's a Pinto with a station wagon body on it.
Sir, you can't put anything but a Pinto body on a Pinto. It's been scientifically proven.
Well, that's why it's a Super Pinto.
9 out of 10 dentists agree with me, okay? And the other one has lost his mind.
Too much nitrous for him as...
Steve Peters doing legendary Steve Peters things.
Battle Wagon spins the Rollover Contest but does not collect the $50 bounty. As Zombie Pac-Man gets a visit from the Magic School Bus.
I almost want to give Peters an extra 50. Gee, Steve Peters is Juan Pablo Montoya-ing this. If there's an air dryer on the track, he's going after it too.
That's a statement. You know, Juan Pablo stayed away from the air dryers at Watkins Glen this year. Oh, and he's now going after Tony the Tiger Timlick. As the Tiger Truck and the Battle Wagon having an altercation that appears to have also caught up the Rollover Contest.
Interesting. I didn't see that coming. It's a bit of a twist.
Oh, they're still fighting over there.
Maybe they're just playing demo derby over there. That's cool. I'm into it.
Yep.
Yeah, backing on up.
No,
No, you're not going anywhere. Apparently Steve has lost his interest in winning this race.
Well, Hunter Jenkins has lost a tire, so we can argue over who has it worse here, as there are sparks coming off of the 23R. Luckily for us, it doesn't appear that Hunter has any interests of stopping.
Why don't you call it the race and station wagon? That kind of rhymes.
Because the Super Sprinto Pinto is fun. And
It's
if we were
not a Pinto. Right now it's Sparky the Clown.
We had another name suggestion I'd have to look back on revolving around the duckling that is mounted on the roof.
Oh, wait, they're free. Now, wait, back to Demo Derby? Yep.
Yep. No, it's not over yet.
That's fantastic. Well, I didn't know we were getting Demo Derby. We didn't know we were getting a small car, 2-car demo. Huh. And now you can't go anywhere.
Sure.
Well,
that might as well happen.
Steve, we'll talk the next time I see you about holding a grudge. Thornborough continues to lead in the minivan minivan bus thing. There's Bill Bleem.
Well, actually, our amalgamation of a scoring platform appears to be showing bumperless Bill Bleem as your race leader, with the Magic School Bus running in second, and third place going to It's White.
As far as leads go, Preston Brandt is driving the all-white 14. All right.
Sure.
I haven't seen that car. I literally have not seen that. Hey, there it is. As it is just a graveyard of mini bump-to-pass cars. As we're going to take a couple of seconds and come back here into the announcement. Gather yourselves, people. There's no way I'm getting nominated for that.
Oh, here he is again.
Hey,
you can look at him.
Preston! And he just shed some body work.
Oh, and there goes Zombie Pac-Man, whose wheel is pointed the wrong direction. And
as the green flag is flying, the school bus is sending Pac-Man into the thing. Oh, goodness. We allegedly have 16 laps to go. I don't know how this field's going to make 16 more laps, but we allegedly have them.
I don't know how many are going to survive 16 more laps.
All right, who's our pink car out there? Is that Devin Jenkins?
That's Devin Jenkins in the Pastel Princess.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to go to a commercial break and come back with more of the fun here on our season finale of Home Track Heroes. Season 5 coming to a break. Bumperless Bill Bleem leads. We'll see you again here in a couple of seconds on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Final segment of Season 5 here of Home Track Heroes as we come back to Andrew Zachary trying to win his own money in the rollover contest by trying to back himself into a Uke tire. It didn't work. No $50 for him. as Jacob Thornborough, I love that little bus car, whatever it is.
The Magic School Bus
Yes.
is having some fun. And
You've got like a caliper on fire.
Yeah.
And the turn signal on, and the 022 of Michael Turner. Wow, all right, cool.
Is there also something dragging underneath that car?
Well, it's not going to light on fire by natural purposes. At least you hope not.
If it does, we promise we'll throw the red.
Yes, we will. Well, you promise. I will highly recommend it. As there's Preston Brandt, the world's tallest Hornet driver in the world's blandest bump-to-pass car, working his way to try to get underneath Turner and saying, hey, man, you're on fire. Stop.
Hey, say what you will about that number 14. It's white.
It's also second place to bumperless Bill Bleem, who's also become imaginary because we've only seen him like once-ish, maybe twice. We're also almost down to 1 lap to go. Our program here brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Can't thank Gene Johnson enough as we see the 1 to go signal. As they've sponsored us all year long, the name you can trust since 1976 for quality service and peace of mind. Visit them today at GeneJohnsonServices.com. As they say, we're on it.
Bumperless Bill Bleem is going to attempt to lap 3rd place here on the final lap of the race.
That's 2nd place.
Oh, it was 3rd. Okay, no, Bleem's around.
No, Bleem's around. Okay, how quick can Brandt make this up?
Oh,
Bleem
not
got
quick
her back.
enough.
You almost saw the Hail Mary of auto racing. As let's go down to the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
All right, so introduce yourself for us and give us a little inspiration for the paint scheme.
So I'm Jacob Thornborough. Before this van, I ran the smallest Civic ever. Everybody complained it wasn't big enough target. So I built the biggest target possible, painted like a school bus. Everybody can see it.
And what has been your favorite part of running bump to pass?
The insanity. You never know what's going on. You got to keep your foot to the floor, head on a swivel. It's a blast. I mean, I put this van together for $100. You cannot have this much fun for $100.
Yeah. And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I got to thank my sponsor, Diesel Doctor, Brian, for towing me here. Oh, now I'm blanking. Mom, thank you. Everybody else that I'm forgetting. I'm sorry. I'm pumped. Holy cow, that was fun.
Let's give it a 3rd place, Jacob Thornborough. All right, so introduce yourself for us and tell us a little bit about your car.
Well, my dad drug it home, and we're routing it around the field, so we're like, you know what, let's make it a bump to pass, and yeah.
And how much fun is bump to pass for you?
It's a lot more fun than Hornets, which I was doing before, and yeah, I enjoy it.
And who do you want to thank specifically for helping you get out here?
I like to thank my parents, Arlington, North County Towing, All About Auto Wrecking, my buddy Andrew, Bad Decisions Racing, and Accurate Lines, Symmetry Chiropractic, and that's it.
Let's give it up. 2nd place tonight. All right, same leadoff question. Just give us an introduction and a little bit about the car.
My name's Bill Bleem out of Monroe. That was my Stinger car, but it's done now.
Yeah, brought it out for bump to pass. I thought we recognized it from elsewhere. How much fun is bump to pass for you?
It's everything you want to do on 405, I-5, side roads, everywhere. But it's good. You can get away with it.
And who do you want to thank for helping you come out here?
My wife, my son, mainly my wife for putting up with my crap. So, yeah, good stuff.
Let's give it up. Your winner tonight, the 16, Bill Bleem.
Got to thank Ben Iman. He's been tag teaming the trackside duties with you, Derek Todoroff, all night long. And for most of the year here on Home Track Heroes, big thanks to both of you guys. This is our final race of the year. It's bus racing time. Figure 8 bus racing. It's been suggested that every intersection strike gains a lap. So we're going to consider that. We'll take that into the unofficial official rules of bus racing going forward.
Why not?
I don't see a reason why not. It's just going to make scoring this harder, although we kind of make up the scoring anyways. So we'll keep it in mind. As we get ready to go, we got an exciting crew of bus racers. I didn't actually see the green flag come out, but we're going to say the green flag is out, and let's get
They're hitting
to
each
her.
other.
Yeah, that's Chris Southard in the 55. Chris going from figure 8 cars to figure 8 buses, and he starts us out with a thwap, a big old thwap. Love it.
I've seen a couple of drivers make the hop on over, and results have varied as to how difficult it is, how much fun it is.
Ooh.
Fun being, of course, on a scale of good to absolutely amazing.
And then Southern got thwapped right back. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, Derek. I hope they taught you that in college. As we take a look, American Airlines fly with them in the 78, lean in on the Wildcat, which is Ryan Paul.
Powered by the spirits of all your lost luggage.
I love it. Ryan Paul driving the bus that Cody Cooey took to bus racing glory. Ryan trying to bring it almost as good.
It's the Wildcat.
It sure looks like the Archbishop Murphy team bus, but I digress, as what else would they be riding to and from their football games today?
That.
Driving the blue bus, the 59 tonight, is allegedly not noted cheater Jonathan Peterson. Now, we've got a name of Heather Allen. The question is Heather Allen Jonathan Peters' fake name?
Well,
is it the Bruce Wayne to the Batman is the question.
That is the question.
Why don't you consider that? I've never really thought John Peterson looked like a Heather Allen, but who am I to judge?
I never really thought Robin Williams looked like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Maybe Heather Allen looks like Jonathan Peterson.
That's a good question.
It could go either way.
Let us know on Facebook if you think Heather Allen's real.
I can't confirm that she is or not. I mean, there's lots of Heather Allens on Facebook. I just didn't see any attached to Evergreen Speedway. So, we are looking. Conley Graber, who is one of the driving forces between our bus racing here, is running down on Southern. Come on, Chris. You're the figure 8 expert. You got this. Hook that corner. Block that intersection. Strike the back of the blue bus if it's JP.
It's going to be hard here to hold off an inside charge. Southern of all people going to know that. He's pushed way high and out of the racing groove.
Oh, yeah. To the high side he goes. To the top shelf. It's where the expensive liquor lives up there.
I wouldn't know.
You should. It's a great thing to do at college. They make their way through the South Pole and through. It's the battle of the green buses today. Kind of getting featured between Conley and Southern. Southern's got a nice shot lined up on him, but I think he said, I'm going to pick my time. Coming up, look out, Heather! Heather makes the throw. That bus does look like it's cheating vastly less than
Yeah. The Wrecking Ball, number 27, running away from the Bog Creature bus, driven by Chris Southern today, is American Airlines Spirit of All Your Luggage, flight number 78, taking off behind Graber.
We haven't mentioned Jeff Ritter, who is in the 18 bus. That's that one hanging out right there-ish, just coming through the intersection, right?
Yeah, that's the flag.
All right, so they're making it through. Green buses decide they want to race again. Oh, Chris, what happened? What happened to the left corner of that thing?
It's missing something.
Like paneling?
Also, the tire.
Oh, yeah. Well, left rears don't matter a whole lot, right?
In my experience, no, they don't.
As my coworker Trenton would tell you from the other day when he drove about 7.5 miles on a flat left rear, big deal. He had to get a ride at work the next day. Go figure. We also saw J. Van Buskirk in the J. Van Bus. There he is. Bingo. Got to make a mention of Jay. Jay's a good dude. He's also, him and Conley are the guys who are always out here in one of these two buses. So, the Wildcat bus is stalled and done. So that's all right. All right, Heather, prove to us you're not Jonathan Peterson. Don't cheat in the bus racing for the next 32 seconds. That is your mission. In and through, I think Conley is looking to dominate and take this final win of the year. Would that make him the season champion?
I, for one, have no idea. And yes, apparently he will take the checkered. That is the race win to the Wrecking Ball. Conley Graber is going to hold off American Airlines flight number 78 and the J. Van Bus.
You know, I promised to name an MVP of Home Track Heroes, and I'm going to name that MVP right now. After this bus race right here, the MVP of Home Track Heroes is going to be anything but Jonathan Peterson.
That's fair enough.
We should all get belts except for him. Derek, thank you so much for finishing off Season 5 with us. Well done, sir. Thank you guys for being with us for a whole nother 5th season, from starting through the pandemic to getting to where we are now. wouldn't be possible without you, the viewers. And of course, our awesome staff, Derek and Ben working in here and in the booth and on trackside. All of our other co-hosts, Greg was in here, Kyler was in here, Chad was in here, and I apologize if I forget anybody else, Ben White. Griff and Derek on production all year long, and our awesome camera crew. My name is Caleb Hart. Check out evergreenspeedway.com for schedule information. We'll see you in the spring here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.